Hello and welcome to Transformation Now. Hi, I'm Rita Rocker with SoaringHigher.rocks. And what I would like to do today is continue on with a story, stories, quotes of famous people who've made an impact on the world, on their lives, on their families, on other people, because of their attitude and their outlook on life. And so what I shared beginning of the last program, that was really cute. I'm just going to open this one up too, because this is a continuation. And it was about a school where a teacher was giving grade school kids some problems and saying, okay, what would you do in this? What would be your solution to this problem? Again, these are grade school kids. I don't know what grade it was, but it's on attitudes that make us or break us. And so the person who loved this and posted this said, this kid will go far in life. And it was really cool because the teacher had given them a group of questions. And it said, fill in the solutions, directions, read each of the problems and come up with a solution for each one. And so the question in this one box said, problem, you fell on the playground and hurt your knee. Okay, a lot of different reactions from that. So what did the grade school child put in the solutions box? Get up and deal with it. And I started laughing. I think a lot of people have, because I loved it. It was like, oh, okay, yeah, get up and deal with it. You can't just sit there and cry. You hurt yourself. Now you get up and you deal with it. And that's the way life will always be for us as long as we're here on earth. We get up, dust off our knees, and get back to the race. I'm one who knows many times of being knocked down, and yet we get up and we get back in the race. And that's what life is all about, so that we can be there for others and help other people. So I'm going to continue reading quotes from famous people that really not only affected their lives, but then they were able to impact the lives of multitudes, even people around the world. Some of these are newer quotes. A lot of them are very old quotes. So I think these are very, very important and very helpful, and I would hope that you really take these to heart and listen to them and see that these things really do make a difference in where we get in life and where our families get in life as well. All righty, so Oswald Avery was an immunologist. We've heard a lot about immunology the last 2 years, and he said, whenever you fall, pick up something. Okay, I thought that was so true. You know, so not only just physically fall, but it's like when you fall, when you have a failure, when something happens, pick up something. It's like, pick up what? Okay, pick up another person who maybe fell too, or you know someone who's going through the same thing. Help pick them up. Pick up a new skill, a new job skill. Pick up a new life lesson. Pick up something every time you fall. Pick up something new that will help you grow, that will go forward. It could be like I said, a new class. It could be a new relationship, a new organization. Pick up something that will help you stay back up and move forward. Arthur Ashe, I remember his situation. He passed away many years ago. He was a famous tennis player. And he said, you've got to get to this stage in life where going for it is more important than winning or losing. So when he was fighting serious health issues before he passed away, he went for the challenge anyway. He went for keeping going as long as he could and pushing himself. And what a powerful example he was to so many people who were going through the same situation. He said, go for it. Go for that thing that you want. That's more important than winning or losing. And having been in the pageant industry and that myself, I understand that there's only one person that can win the crown. But everybody that's been in there has learned a lot, has grown a lot, has made new friends, have developed new skills and new abilities. So we all win because we go for it, regardless of the outcome. Another one, Soichiro Honda, which is the founder of the Honda Corporation, very, very, very famous with cars and vehicles, said, to me, success can only be achieved through repeated failure and introspection, looking inside, thinking. You know, just hashing everything over and going through in your mind. He said, in fact, the success represents 1% of your work that results from 99% that is called failure. So people work, fail, try, fail, try, fail, try, but they keep going, and those are the ones that actually win, the ones that achieve and create all light bulbs, electricity, everything else that we've had came from trials and failures until they actually got the right answer. Okay, another one from Andy Grove. He's the Intel Corporation chairman. There is at least one point in the history of any company when you have to change dramatically to rise to the next level of performance. Miss that moment and you start to decline. Now, I put a little mark around the word company because the same thing could be said about us. A lot of times there'll be at least one time, maybe many, where we have to make a dramatic change in our life to rise to the next level. And a lot of times it's a relationship that has to go. It could be a job that's very negative and not the right job or the right people, the right environment. So sometimes it's a drastic change. It might be moving across the country. So, a lot of times in order to rise and perform in the area that we want to be in, it may take a drastic move, and that's okay. God's with you for one thing, and go forward in what's really in your heart and really in your mind to do. Raymond Chandler was a writer. He said, the ability is what you're capable of doing. Motivation determines what you do. Attitude determines how well you do it. So if we think about that, ability is what you're capable of doing, okay? Maybe you have a strong math ability, analytical ability. Maybe you have this unbelievable creative mind. Maybe you have the skills and abilities and the love of creating masterpieces in food or in clothing or in instruments or whatever, anything that there is, okay? So that's your ability. You have learned a skill, you've picked it up, maybe you have a certain knack for it anyway, because we all have a left and right brain. Right brain is definitely more creative, sometimes gets out there, way out there. The left brain is very analytical and, numbers type persons, that type of thing. And so what are your abilities? Because you all have some. You all lean towards a certain thing that you like to do. So what is your ability? What are you capable of doing? And then what are you capable of still learning in those areas and growing from? And then you think motivation determines what you do. If you're very motivated in what you do, you'll go far. And, so I'm motivated. When I get up today, I'm going to do this, this, and this. I've began again to make lists of the things that I need to do in order to stay motivated through some other things that I was dealing with lately. And so motivation determines what you do. I'm motivated. Oh, you know what? I'm tired. I'm just going to sit and watch TV and I'm going to binge watch. Oh, the next day. Okay, well, I'm going to binge watch again. And so there's no motivation there to go any further. So it might be, okay, I'm going to turn off the TV now and I'm going to get on the internet and I'm going to learn something. I'm going to pull up a class or something that will really help me, motivate me to get going in that right direction again. Attitude determines how well you do it. Well, I can't do this. Well, everybody always thought I was stupid. Well, why am I even bothering? I don't have the education. I don't have this. I don't have that. Well, that attitude, of course, will keep that person down. But if the attitude is, you know what, I can do, well, for me, it's all things through Christ who strengthens me. But if an attitude is, yes, I can do that. Yes, I love doing this. Yes, I have the ability. I care about people. I really like working with numbers. What is the attitude? Because that will make us or break us depending on what our attitude is. I don't want to be around people. I don't like people. Okay, they can sense that. Our attitude in that case would keep everybody away from us because maybe we're afraid of being hurt or we don't know how to deal with people. But there again, that's an attitude. Or, I really want to make friends. I really want to know new people. That's an attitude of going out there and doing something that will bring new friendships. So always think about that. Our ability, our motivation, and then our attitude, which steers everything. Okay, Charles Kettering of the Sloan Kettering Institute, he said, the difference between intelligence and education is this. Intelligence will make you a good living. Okay, so intelligence and education. I've known a lot of people maybe I shouldn't say this, that have a lot of education, very poor choices, and really because of attitudes and things like that, the education really was not very beneficial. I've known other people who had, say, for instance, no college whatsoever, that have been, gone into millionaire status, that have created so many things, created organizations, created foundations, created all these things without. So again, education is very, very important. It's critical. We need it. But then we also need the intelligence of the mind and making the right decisions and making the right choices and even what we're going to study to get that education. So think about that too. John Kennedy, our 35th president of the United States, one of the best presidents, in my opinion, that we ever had. If we are strong, our strength will speak for itself. If we are weak, words will be no help. So why is that? Because actions speak louder than words. And so people can say all kinds of things, and they can say good things, they can say bad things, they can feed us a lot of baloney as far as what they're saying, all right? And so actions speak louder than words, so our strength will speak for itself by the outcome of our actions, the outcome of the things that we do. So a person doesn't have to say anything, but they're, and still give off a very strong message because their actions speak for themselves. And so words will be of no help if we've gone a way that has hurt a lot of people, and then we start making up excuses with all the words that we say. Well, I did this, or it's not my fault, it's their fault. Okay, words aren't going to help because we've already seen the result of our actions by what's happened and how it's affected other people. So I think that's very good if we stop to really dissect that and think about our actions speaking louder than words, because they always will. Plato, I should have looked that one up as far as how many centuries ago Plato, but that was several centuries ago. He said, you can discover more about a person in an hour of play than in a year of conversation. And I sat there for a moment and I thought, wow, that's really true. I mean, you may talk about things, and when we talk about things, are we sincere? Are we really going to do them? How is it affecting other people? We talk about things, but he says, in an hour of play. In an hour of play, you can see all about, you can watch, what are their behaviors? How are they treating people? What's their attitude? Good, bad, positive, negative? Are they a team player or not? Are they a controlling person? Are they someone who helps, someone who cares? So I love that one because it's like, yeah, actually get in there, get in the trenches, get in there and really work alongside of someone. I've seen stories of coaches who, like a teenage boy maybe, and he'd go to school late and he just was having all kinds of struggles. And I remember one coach in particular in high school, and the boy was struggling with his school. He was always late for school. He just, he appeared like he had a lot of potential. And then the coach finally found out that he had a very, very bad home life. He wore ragged old shoes, like holes in his shoes, and he was very down and out because he had to walk a few miles to get to school. And by then he was tired and everything that was going on, and so this coach started working with him. The coach would pick him up many mornings himself to take him to school and worked with him on life lessons, on caring. This kid finally had someone who cared about him, and he knew that he cared about him even though he was a school coach. He wasn't a family member or anything. And this young man turned out to be quite successful in sports and in school, and to go on being successful in life. And why was that? Because this coach took the time to get in there with him, an hour of play, so to speak, and this really changed this kid's life. So that can happen. Okay, David Carradine, I remember him, American actor, and I was surprised. It's an ex-Marine, which I didn't realize before. He said, if you cannot be a poet, be the poem. So if you can't be, if you're not good in a particular area, maybe you think, oh, I'd love to be a speaker, but I can't. How about writing? Be the poem. If you can't do something, but you can coach other people, or you can educate people to do something that maybe you're not able to do yourself. I've seen people who were physically bound by physical challenges, and yet they had all the ability in the world to educate other people on this particular subject that they were teaching. And so if you can't be the poet, be the poem. Think about that one too. I love that, because a lot of times we think, well, I can't do that. Well, maybe you can't because of something physically, or just maybe not have the creative mind, but you have all the skills and all the technology or whatever is needed. So think about that one. Okay, Dave Thomas from Wendy's. We always used to see Dave on the commercials when he, before he passed. And he said, if there are things you don't like in the world that you grew up in, make your own life different. Okay, that's happening a lot to the older group, seeing how life has changed so much over the years, just drastically changed. And so he said, make your own life different. We don't want to follow the crowd necessarily if the crowd is not doing things that are to the benefit of us, our family, and our world. And so people sometimes don't want to stand out, but the ones that stand out are the ones that are successful. And they try and they keep going and they stand out. So we don't want to be with people who are going to continue to pull us down. We'd rather stand out, network, and connect with those who are going to build us up, and then we in turn build others up. Charles Koch of Koch Industries, the chairman of there, said, our vision controls the way we think and therefore the way we act. And that is true. Our vision, what do we see ahead? If we see fearful things, like right now, there's so much going on in the world and in our country, and if you watch the mainstream media, which I won't, what do we see? And so when we see all that, we think nothing but fear and terror and defeat. And so that's the way a lot of people act. No, he says the vision we have of our jobs, and I'd say of life in general, determines what we do and the opportunities we see and don't see. So even in crisis, even in times of trial, what do I see that I could do? Could I feed people? Could I go visit people? Could I help people in some way to go forward? Could I teach them something that they're going to need for the future? So think about that, what we do and the opportunities we see or don't see. So we can all see opportunity in these things if we look for it. So always think about that. What can we learn? What can we give? What can we move forward? Not only for ourselves, but those around us. Amadeo Gianni was the Bank of America founder, and he said the glad hand is all right in the sunshine. It's all right in the sun, glad hand. When life is good, it was what he meant. When everything's sunny, glad hand, everything, yay, life is sunny, we're in the sunshine. But it's the helping hand in the dark that folks remember to the end of time. And that is so true. That's what I've been talking about. It's the ones that you're seeing out there giving their lives, taking their time, giving their support, giving out free food, whatever they can do. That's the helping hand. The helping hand, the ones that are helping others when it's dark. And those are the ones that will be remembered forever. Okay. Lee Iacocca, the founder, Chrysler Corporation, CEO, and there was a movie, Ford versus Ferrari, and if you saw that one or many times, Lee Iacocca's character was portrayed in that. And he said, so what do we do? Anything, something, so long as we just don't sit there. If we screw up, we start over. Try something else. If we wait until we've satisfied all the uncertainties, it may be too late. And there were a lot of uncertainties in his industry and competition and underhanded things that were going on. But, we can't wait forever for something to develop, materialize when maybe that's not the right direction anyway. So we can't just sit there. If we screw up, we go somewhere else. We try again. We try a new method of creating something, of doing something, of bringing something about, of starting a new organization, whatever the case may be. Mario Andretti, race car driver, I remember too. He says, circumstances may cause interruptions and delays. Oh, yes, absolutely. But never lose sight of your goal. Prepare yourself in every way you can by increasing your knowledge, and adding to your experience so that you may make the most of every opportunity when it occurs. Yes, circumstances and delays, there's a lot of that going on. I mean, even in the real world with shipping and economy and all of that. Okay, but we can increase our knowledge, knowing what to do, how to conserve things, how to save things, how to build things, and add to our experience. So as the world changes, we can add to it. We've developed new skills, we've developed new abilities, because then when a new door does open up, when things do change, we're all ready to go. We've learned what we need to learn. We've made new friends, new relationships that will go with us as we go forward. So some of the best learning experiences are actually the ones when we're in the deepest trials and we come out the strongest. And so always hold on to that thought. Thomas Bennett was killed in action in Vietnam. And one of the things that he had said was, having once decided to achieve a certain task, achieve it at all costs of boredom and distaste. The gain in self-confidence of having accomplished a tiresome labor is immense. So a lot of times people are in a job or in a situation that's awful. I mean, you think of, in his day, prisoners of war, okay? And so a lot of things in life are boring, they're tedious, they're hard. With the economy right now, a lot of times people are taking jobs, if they can find a job that is very boring. It's nothing they wanted. Maybe they did it like 30 years ago and it's like, why am I doing this now? But they keep going because they're gaining new self-confidence that I can do anything. I can go forward. I'm going forward. I'm going to make it through this and I'm going to be stronger for it. There is no such thing in anyone's life as an unimportant day, said Alexander Woollcott. He was an American columnist and critic. And there is no such thing in anyone's life as an unimportant day. I would say strive to do one important thing a day. Maybe it's just making a phone call to someone you know is lonely and they're hurting. That's important. Maybe it's spending 30 minutes on working on finances. And it's like, oh, I don't want to do this. Okay, no, keep going forward. Warren Buffett, everybody in the whole world knows who Warren Buffett is, I think, and he said one's objective should be to get it right, get it quick, get it out, and get it over. Your problem won't improve with age. And I know he has a different mindset. He's a bazillionaire. But, it's meaning get it right, so work on it until it's right. Get it quick, and that means don't procrastinate, don't sit on it, don't think about it forever and think, oh, I hope this happens one day. Get it done and move on to the next project. So that's also really important. Okay, Peter Drucker, another famous name, business philosopher and an author. He was a very well-known speaker. He said the most common cause of executive failure is inability or unwillingness to change with the demands of a new position. The executive who keeps on doing what he has done successfully before is almost bound to fail. And I would say you can replace the word executive with anything. Anybody who knows that because everything is being so modernized, the technology, if they aren't willing to go along with changes that are happening, then eventually will fail. I heard of a guy who was with a company for 30 years. He was in a top supervisory position. It was more of an industrial position. And he was awesome. And he was a good leader. And he made such an impact on the company's success. However, that's when things were, back computerized. Things were going from more manual labor to being all computerized. And in his mind, it was like, I can't do this. I don't want to do this. I don't like doing this. And so he ended up actually losing his job, not because he wasn't awesome at it, but because he refused to learn all the new technical things that he had to do with machines in order to build the company and cause it to grow, quicker, faster, more accurate, according to why we have technology. And I talked to someone a couple days ago who was very frustrated. I don't know how to use the internet on my phone. I don't want to do GPS. I want to go back to my old computer. I don't like things the way they are. And I said, but I'm sorry, that's the way it is now. We have to keep up or we're going to flounder and we're just going to fall back and everybody else is over here. And she didn't like that comment very much, but that was the truth. Okay, General Douglas MacArthur said, there is no security in life, only opportunity. And boy, isn't that the truth? No security, not really, but opportunities. The creed of Frederick the Great, one of history's most successful leaders, was audacity, audacity, always audacity. Okay, so what does audacity mean? A willingness to take bold risks. Okay, and then we have to do that. Even when we're afraid, we have to take bold risks, be audacious, and go forward. Okay, and then two more right quick. Calvin Coolidge, 30th president, said, nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. The world is full of educated derelicts, as he called them. But anyway, that's it, persistence. That's what gets us to our goal. And the last one, Joe Namath, famous football player. I remember when he did a pantyhose commercial. Hey, how about that one? To be a leader, you have to make people want to follow you. And nobody wants to follow someone who doesn't know where he's going. Well, isn't that true? So a person doing something worth following, we want to be someone people will follow because of the good things, the beneficial things, the productive things. And so there again, we could follow negative things, but in his comment, we want to be someone who is a quality person, instills a lot of joy, instills a lot of motivation in people. And so a lot of people have followed him because of that. Always a smile, always joy, and a winner. So I encourage you to take these to heart, and I look forward to seeing you next time.